Welcome to the first episode of Real Time Startup. And in this show, I want to walk you through in real time how my startup is coming along. So this is the very beginning of the process, so I decided to document myself. I often see people with great startup ideas, but the problem ends up being that they just don't know what to do with that idea. They don't know how to get it going. And I wanted to make sure I could document the process for anybody going through this for the first time too. So they don't know how to get things done, they don't know what the first step is, they don't know how to get their business plan off the ground, they don't know how to get a logo made. And I thought, having a little bit of background in starting a company, that if I document my process, that you watching or listening can also go along the journey with me, talk about my struggles, talk about the hard times, and watching a lot of startup shows and podcasts. It's always 5 years down the road, and they're doing an interview and they're recapping the business, and it all seems like everything kind of went well, and even the struggles that they're talking about, it's been years since that struggle, and they sort of forgot the pain that they had to go through to get past that. So I thought if I do this in real time, not only would it help people watching, it would also help me being able to look back. So when I make some progress in the company and things are moving along, I could go back and see where I kind of came from, all the hardships that I had. I've noticed in life in general, for example, when you're going through a diet or weight loss, things like that, or you're learning a new skill, it's really great when you're able to document it. It's almost like the before and after picture. So if you don't know where you started, sometimes you could get lost in the road to getting to your goal. So now let me talk about what my startup is. So my startup, right now I don't even have a name for it, but it's basically gonna be a how-to video platform where we're gonna have how-to videos on all sorts of topics, from simple things like using Gmail and all kinds of tech-related questions to doing things around the house like fixing drywalls, plumbing-related things, fashion, business, real estate. And I want to grow it kind of step by step, not dumping all those content on a platform at one time and sort of growing it. But I want to make the best how-to videos out there. And the way this came about was about 5 to 6 months ago. I was on YouTube and I was trying to do something around the house. I had a new rental unit and I was trying to fix some drywall, some plumbing things. And I ended up watching 10 to 15 videos on every single topic just to figure out how to do something. And it was really frustrating. The sound quality, the video quality, everything was bad about the videos that I was watching. So now my background is that I have a video production company that I've had since 2009. I went to film school and I've done freelance work previous to 2009. So I have a lot of skills and all the equipment in the video production world. And I've worked with lots of Fortune 500 companies. We've done a lot of how-to videos for clients. So I thought I could take that skill set and kind of do a better job in these how-to video markets. Because watching low quality videos that didn't really give you the answer right away, with a lot of fluff and a lot of side stories. And I'm watching a video for 10 minutes when I really could have got the answer in 2 minutes if the video was done right, made me realize that there was a gap in the market. Even though there is tons of how-to content on YouTube, for example, and when you Google things, a lot of videos come up, a lot of times you have to go through many of them to find the right answer. So this business idea and this startup is gonna be a website and also a YouTube channel that is gonna be the best version of any how-to video on any given topic. Obviously, we're gonna grow slow, focus on some specific industries over others, things that I know well, things that I could easily make videos about, and then I wanna grow it from there. And I have a whole plan in my head on how I want to grow that over time. So again, back to 5 months ago when this idea came about and I was working on the house, I decided to do the filming right then and there. So while I'm doing all the fixes around the house on my spare time, I was changing a garbage disposal, for example, and I was repairing drywall, painting, things like that around the house on the weekends. I started filming all those and making how-to videos. The idea really developed over the last 5 months, but at the time I just thought about I film it and I throw it on YouTube. I didn't really have a plan to make it into a business. But once I decided to make it into a business, I sat down and I began editing some of the videos together, thinking of more of a business plan on how this is gonna come about. and getting some of the content put together in the best way I could, tell the best version of that story. I really want to focus on making the best possible content and really proving the concept that there is a need for really great how-to videos without the fluff. And I'm really passionate about it. I think there's a real need for it. So I think I'll easily find the time, because it won't seem like work to me. I feel like if I'm making good content and people are finding that content and people are getting the help they need from that content, and as it grows, I think I'm just gonna find even more passion for it, and it's just gonna fuel me to keep going. Now, having a company before, I know that it takes a long time to grow things. The video production company really struggled for the first 2 to 3 years before it found some legs and the revenue grew into the 6 figures. But I want to use that skill, the patience, and apply it to this new company. I know I'm not going to throw videos up and they're not going to get thousands of views day one. I know it's going to be a slow building process. So I have that in mind. So the first few months, it's really going to be focused on the content. It's really going to be focused on developing a business plan that's working, really understanding more about YouTube. And in turn, this is going to help my video production company as well, because that is a service-based business. But by doing this, I'm going to utilize some of the ideas that I'm learning about the distribution of videos and helping my clients with that as well. Because now we produce a video for a client, we hand it over, and then the client decides what to do with the video. But if we have a platform and more of a knowledge on things like YouTube or a website that hosts videos, we're really going to be able to take that and help the client do the same thing with their videos. So it's sort of benefiting my service business, but at the same time, I'm gonna focus on it as its own startup company. All the resources now are at my fingertips, making a website, making a logo, things like that I have the background and the skill set to do on my own. I'll talk about some resources too that I come across that are gonna be a little bit of money, and I'll talk about that. In the meantime, I'm gonna focus on making the content. So the next step is I'm gonna make myself a to-do list, all the things that I need to get done. So for example, I think for the next episode, I really need to focus on a company name. I think, and this is based on previous experience, that when you have a company name that you're proud of, that really describes things, that's catchy, it just gives you that fuel to really want to get things started. And I think the reason why I've been really slow in the last few months thinking about this idea, but never really sitting down like today and saying, okay, this is it, we're gonna get started, is because I didn't have the name. I had the idea, but for some reason I kept pondering the name for months and months. And so I think I'm gonna dedicate this week, I'm gonna focus on the name. And for next week's episode, I'm gonna really sit down. Hopefully I'll have a name by then, and I'll document the process of how I came up with that name. And then we'll go from there. So weeks down the road, you're gonna see things like the development of the business plan, the development of the logo, the website, in this case, the YouTube page, which is really free advertising, and the YouTube community is a great, I think, revenue generator too, on top of having the website. So I'm not gonna, again, worry about fundraising and things like that. I'm gonna just spend minimum amount of money to get things going, which I think will be a good way also for anybody starting out, especially with a startup that's not really proven, to make sure that the need is there, that the audience is there, and not really sinking too much money into the process of growing the company day one. So spending a few months making sure you're doing everything you can without really needing investment money. Again, depending on the startup, some things just can't be done for free. But in this case, I think I could really grow it with minimum amount of money. I hope it helps you with your startup, or if you have a startup idea that you don't know how to get started with, that'll give you some ideas on some of the steps that you need to take, the steps that I'm taking, and you'll take the journey with me. I hope through this comes some collaboration, because I feel like my idea will require a big team eventually, although right now I'm gonna start off slowly. I love to bring in more people to collaborate with me, so I'm hoping from creating a show like this that I will get some more resources, I'll meet some new people, and really be able to grow this into a big company that I envision in my head, sort of a YouTube version of how-to videos, a really solid platform that is known to be the place you go to get the best version of how-to videos on anything you could think of. I'll see you next week on a new episode, and thanks for watching.